Hello my dear students, welcome back to the video classes. My name is Anju Sharma, your English teacher. This video is Tales of Young Gandhi, lesson number 12, part 2 from your new Mulberry book for class 5. In part 1, we have discussed about Gandhiji, the summary of this chapter, about the author of this chapter and word meanings. Now this video is Tales of Young Gandhi Part 2. Today I am going to teach you an explanation of this chapter. So students, I request you all to open your book on page number 153. So in this chapter, in the beginning of this chapter, here a small exercise is given for you. Rearrange the words given below to get a famous quote by Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. See, must you the wish change you to be, you to in the world be. You have to arrange this in proper order. So, you must be the change you wish to see in the world. That's clear to you? Now see children, in this chapter, Gandhi has been called the Mahatma, meaning the great soul. But as a young boy, he faced the same challenges similar to what many of us face. Let us read an extract from the book Tales of Young Gandhi to learn more about Gandhi as a young boy. Now see on this page, this picture shows us, this is a sketch of Mahatma Gandhi with a family portrait and a picture of undivided India. So children, please keep finger where I am reading. On the west coast of India, in Porbandar, Gujarat, lived a Baniya family, the Gandhis. Karamchand, his wife Putlibai, their daughter and 3 sons. First here, Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi was the youngest, born on 2nd October 1869. So in this paragraph tells us Karamchand Gandhi and his wife Putli Bai lived in Porbandar, Gujarat with their 3 sons and a daughter. The youngest of them was Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, popularly known as Mahatma Gandhi, who was born on 2nd October 1869. So come to next page, page number 154. This picture shows us Gandhi, young Gandhi in front of his new school in Rajkot. See here, map is also given here. Rajasthan, it shows the state Rajasthan. So, I was 7 when my father moved from Porbandar to Rajkot. He joined the Rajasthani court in Rajkot and enrolled me in a primary school there. Enrolled means joined. Okay. So, Gandhi was 7 years old when his father moved to Rajkot from Porbandar. There he joined the Rajasthani court and enrolled Gandhi in a primary school there. Next paragraph, next scene is there. My heart wasn't in my daily lessons. I was more interested in mocking our teachers. I was mediocre student. Mediocre means here average student who hardly got through the multiplication tables. So here he tells us Gandhiji was not very much interested in studying his lessons, rather imitating his teacher, means he was more interested in mocking at the teachers. He was an average, a mediocre student who faced difficulty in learning multiplication tables. My shyness led me to bury means here hide. My shyness led me to bury my head in a book, even it grasped nothing. I dislike being taken to task at school. Gandhi was a shy child, and in order to avoid being the center of attraction, he always had a book with him which he pretended to read even if he didn't understand it. But surely I wasn't a dunce. Dunce means here dull. But surely I wasn't dunce. My luck and a wee bit of merit got me scholarships of rupees 4 and rupees 10 for 2 years. But Gandhiji wasn't very dull either. According to him, his little intelligence and little luck helped him won the scholarship of rupees 4 and rupees 10 for 2 years. Now children, come to page number 155. Now, this is a scene of young Gandhi running out of his school. I took to some subjects more easily than others. Initially, I found geometry challenging, but with hard work, I came to appreciate the underlying simplicity of the subject. Now, here Gandhi took the subject which were generally not selected by others. One of them was geometry. Initially, he found the subject challenging, but with his hard work over the time, he started appreciating the subject. Now see in next scene, next paragraph, Sanskrit was harder. Everything had to be learned by heart. I almost switched to the Persian class on hearing it was easy and the teacher was lenient. But the Sanskrit teacher was saddened by my decision. He persuaded me to learn Sanskrit, the language of my religion. Now here, the other subject was Sanskrit, which he felt was the hardest of all. As everything was to be learned by heart, he decided to change the subject to Persian because he had heard that the language was easier and the teacher was lenient. Means after that, after that Sanskrit teacher was after that what happened? Sanskrit teacher was not happy with me. He not happy with him. He called him to his side and said, "How can you forget that you are the son of Vaishnav father? Won't you learn the language of your own religion?" So Gandhi's Sanskrit teacher was sad because of his decision and requested him to study Sanskrit, the language of religion. I was very shy. I would avoid talking to classmates at the thought of being laughed at. It was my childhood inhibition. Inhibition here means also shyness. So I was very shy. Gandhi had a childhood fear that if he would talk to other children, then he would be laughed at and therefore was bit of a shy boy. Next paragraph tells us here is the scene of the scene of playground. Children are playing different games and doing exercises. In high school, my headmaster Dorabje Idulji Gimi made gymnastics, football, and cricket compulsory for us. I shirked from them. It was my shyness again. It was my shyness once again that haunted me on the playground as well. Now, children, here see the meaning of this shirked to avoid doing something. Avoid doing something. So, in this paragraph tells us when Gandhi was in high school, his principal, Mr. Dorabji Adulji Kimi, made sports compulsory, which meant that gymnastics, football, and cricket became a must for all. I shrugged. I shrugged from them. It was my shyness against that haunted me on the playground as well. As Gandhiji was very shy, he couldn't participate in these games and couldn't receive the advantage of sports on his physical well-being. Means due to his shyness, he couldn't participate in games and sports and couldn't get the benefits of physical well-being. Later, I came to realize that physical training is as important as mental training. I read that regular long walks in the open air were good for health, and so I formed a habit of it, which kept me fit and robust. Now, children, you know the meaning of robust? Yes, strong and healthy. Means here is a picture of young Gandhi who realized here that physical training was as important as mental training. After some years, Gandhiji realized that physical training was as important as mental training. He had read somewhere that long walks help in maintaining good health. Therefore, he made a habit of going on walks and kept himself fit and strong. Now see page number 157, children. Here is a scene of young Gandhi sitting beside his ill father. He was sitting beside his father or ill father. Now see, one day I wanted to skip gymnastics and rush home to attend my ill father. My earnest request to leave school early was not accepted by Mr. Gimme. My earnest request to leave school early was not accepted by Mr. Gimme. Now see in this paragraph, recalling another incident, Gandhi tells us that one day when he wanted to skip his gymnastics class and go to his home as his father was not well, but Mr. Kimi don't accept his request and he was asked to attend the class. Here in this scene, he is holding a rejected application. He is showing he holding a rejected application for leaving early from school to attend his father. So Mr. Gimme don't accept his request and he was asked to attend the class. Oh no, just my luck. But the time I reached school, sorry, now next paragraph, then the following Saturday there was a compulsory gymnastic class at 4 o'clock. I had no watch and I miscalculated the hour. But the time I reached school, all the boys had left. Oh no, just my luck. So in this paragraph, here is a scene. Here is a scene of young Gandhi entering the empty classroom after miscalculating the time of gymnastic class. Now see what happened here. Then the next Saturday, then what happened after refusal of Mr. Gimme? Now see now something new happened. What? Then the next Saturday, he had a compulsory gymnastic class at 4 p.m. But Gandhi didn't have a watch and he miscalculated the time. When he reached the school, all the boys had already left as the class was already over. Now what happened next day? See, come on next page, page number 158. Now what happened next day? The next day, Mohandas, stop lying about your absence. But sir, nothing doing. I refuse to believe you. Just pay up your fine of 1 or 2 annas and be done with it. Despite my other flaws, I never ever lied to my teachers. I failed to prove my innocence. Innocence here means simplicity, and flaws, faults, and weakness. Now, see what happened the next day. His teacher scolded him for not attending the compulsory gymnastic class. When Gandhi tried to tell the reason of his absence, Mr. Kimi refused to listen to him and asked him to pay the fine of 1 or 2 annas. Then he knew that he knew that he had many shortcomings, but he had never lied. As you know, children, Gandhiji was famous for his truthfulness. He was sad because even though he was telling the truth, his teacher didn't believe him. Means Gandhi felt very sad after this. So in next scene, this is the scene of examination hall with the children and the invigilator, Mr. Gills. Now see what happened here. To me, the act of cheating was awful. Awful means here terrible, not nice. For the high school examination, we had to write 5 words as a spelling exercise. All the other boys spelled every word correctly, as Mr. Giz, the supervisor, encouraged cheating. Gandhi never liked things like telling a lie. He remembered his high school examination where the students had to write 5 words as a spelling test. All the boys of the class used to get all the spellings correct except Gandhi, as Mr. Giz didn't say anything to the boys who cheated. But Gandhi never cheated, therefore, never got all the spellings correct. As we know, here Gandhi, he believed in truth and honesty. So I couldn't spell kettle, and in fact, I spelled every wrong. I refused to be prompted. I still had deep respect for Mr. Gills, as I did for all my teachers and elders. Isn't he there to prevent us from copying? So, in this last paragraph, children, Gandhi says that he couldn't even spell kettle or any other word or English in general, but he never looked for any wrong means. This shows here Gandhi's simplicity and honesty. He is confused by Mr. Gill's behavior as he thought that it was a teacher's duty to not let anyone cheat, not let anyone cheat. Despite Mr. Gill's behavior, he had a deep respect for all teachers and elders. So here, chapter ends. But students, see, no matter how hard situations had been for young Gandhi or the old Gandhiji, what he never left was the path of truth and non-violence, which actually made him so strong that he made the Britishers go down on their knees. He always had a positive attitude towards life. We will leave the lesson on a positive note by taking a place to walk on the path that Gandhiji has laid down for us. That is, always speak the truth and adopt non-violence no matter how hard the circumstances become. Okay, children, now here the chapter ends. This is how the chapter ends. Now here is a time for assignment. Today's assignment: read the chapter thoroughly, learn and write word meanings, listen the explanation twice or thrice. Okay, children? Thank you once again for watching the video class. Thank you, children. Okay, bye. Have a nice day.